There is always the first one, the first student who made the choice to continue in the field that you teach. I was 29 and a new teacher at SMS, and Marinda Anderson signed up for my acting class. It was just me and her in the dressing room in Buckman. We'd spend the class time working on a scene, choreographing a show, or cramming for AP Biology. I know nothing about AP Biology, but we sure could act out some of those lengthy pages in the book. Fast forward 20 years, and Marinda is an actress living in New York City, where she has been in numerous musicals and plays, acting on stage with well-known actors like Kelly O'Hara, David Hyde Pierce, Peter Friedman, Daphne Rubin Vega, and Deborah Jo Rupp. She can be heard on 3 original cast recordings, including Far From Heaven, Bella, An American Tall Tale, and Miss Ya Like Hell. Marinda graduated from Howard University, and after moving to New York City, she attended New York University, where she earned her master's degree in acting. Currently, Marinda can be seen in NBC's New Amsterdam in her recurring role as Dr. Valerie Jessup. Please help me welcome back to St. Mary's, Marinda Anderson.
Wow, hello. This is so weird. Thank you, Mrs. Madden, for introducing me. Thank you, Gigi, for being so patient with me because my schedule can be a nuisance. It's very weird to be back, but this is like a second home to me, and it's really great to see a lot of my teachers, all the SMS family, my classmates, hello, are here, so this is really great. And also my family and friends who always support me and have showed up again today, so I thank you so much. So, think back with me. Approximately 31 hours ago, I was standing on the cold tile in my bathroom in my studio in New York City and freaking out because it hit me. I have no idea what I'm gonna say in chapel tomorrow. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna talk to you guys too, as I realized, hey. And I knew that whatever I said today, it had to be good. It has to be inspiring. It has to be uplifting so that these young ladies, they will become women of our future who will break barriers and find cures and uphold justice and win the highest of achievements. I mean, gold medals, Oscars, Pulitzer Prizes, Nobel Prizes, or maybe even lead this country one day. Okay? For girls, for life. So you get the idea. I've put a lot of pressure on myself to say something really wise and life-changing. But back to that moment in my bathroom where I'm like, I have nothing. I have no idea what to say, zilch, zero, nada. And by now, I'm sure you're like, Marinda, I'm sure you found out you had to do this speech a while ago, so you're St. Mary's girl, why'd you wait to the last minute? And let's be very clear while we get to know each other, I'm a procrastinator. I was never good at writing anything before the night before. So that's just who I am. I've accepted it. So back to this moment. I was like, okay, Marinda, pull it together, pull it together. Now, I had asked Mrs. Madden if she had any idea of what should come out of my mouth today. And she said, talk about your passion for the arts, for theater, for life. And at the time that she said that to me, I wasn't feeling too good about my passion of acting. It actually felt like my passion was moving further and further away from me, and that sounds depressing. So I was like, don't be depressing, Marinda. So then she also said, remember yourself in those pews and think about the journey. And that immediately made my brain hurt, just trying to remember myself almost 20 years ago. I knew absolutely nothing. I was barely passing some classes, AP Biology, thank you, Ms. Madden. And I don't think that would be helpful to you guys at all. So I was like, come on, Marinda, you got this. Think, like, what could your theme be? Like, believe in yourself. Yes. I mean, like, that's great. I've done that before. I think I could talk about it, maybe. But I was like, that's just so, like, general, like, think of something else. I want, like, a pow, bam, like, in-your-face, immediate Oprah-style wisdom. Oprah, Queen Mother Oprah, okay? And I was like, yes, my spiritual godmother, my guru, my inspiration. What would homegirl Oprah say? And so I began my imaginary conversation with her, as I often do. And I said, Oprah, girl, I need your help. What should I say in chapel tomorrow? And she said, okay, Marinda, why'd you wait this late? And I said, Oprah, this is not the time. And she said, I can't talk to you right now. Gail and I are at dinner. I was like, okay, sometimes you're just not helpful, Oprah. So I just had to stop, and I thought to myself, what would I want to hear when I was sitting in your seats? Then I frantically started texting my friends and asking them, okay, what would you tell your middle school, high school self? And the responses poured in. One of them, no need to rush. Another, you are enough and enjoy the journey. Another said, it will all happen, just maybe not the way you thought it would. My other girlfriend said, be nice. And I was like, what do you mean? And then another friend said, what makes you different or not fit in is actually your superpower. Don't be in a rush and trust the process. You see, it's a lot of don't rush, trust the process, a lot of that. Take your time to allow for things to happen for you and don't get bogged down in all the details and what ifs. Prepare for what you want, but be open to surprises. Another said, the difference between knowing something and not knowing something is experience, and everybody has different experiences. So don't judge what someone else doesn't know, because they definitely know something you don't. Another friend said, the world is so much bigger than you know, and there are so many possibilities, and also don't be so worried about the destination and embrace the journey. You get the theme, right? And finally, my girlfriend said, let toxic friends and relationships go a lot sooner, and don't waste too much energy trying to win people over. And don't play it safe. Take risks and go hard for your dreams. So I was like, oh my God, these are so great. These are like really helpful, and like half of my speech is written, so thank you. But okay, just kidding. But I really did relate to all of this wisdom, and now it was my turn to answer the question. And more importantly, what did I need to hear when I sat in your seats? I needed the truth. So here we go. I came to St. Mary's in 4th grade. I was placed in Mrs. Connor's class, and I knew no one. How would I ever make friends? God, and let's keep it real, there was only one other black girl. I was in a bit of a shock because before then I didn't have too many white friends, but I adapted. And I quickly learned that my late night Nick at Night obsession had come in handy. I don't even know if y'all know what that is, but it's like Nickelodeon late at night, and they showed like a lot of old school comedies. I Love Lucy, Mork and Mindy, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Mama's Family, maybe even Golden Girls. And I soon found out that comedy was a great way to make people like you. I would reenact lines from TV shows, and the girls in my class would laugh, and slowly I made one friend at a time. The joke slowly became original, and I had more friends. It was working. But I never felt like I belonged. It was clear what I provided in these friendships. I was the entertainment. But it seemed like, they liked me. I occasionally got the swim party invite. But I also felt like an outsider because my grades weren't great. I felt like I didn't learn the same way everyone else did. It seemed to come so easy to them while I was over here struggling. But I pushed through. I made it across the street to middle school. I began to solidify friendships and felt like my grades were improving. But those were the times that my mama didn't tell me that my classmates would touch my hair sometimes without permission, or ask to make it stand up because that's what the texture of my hair allowed. This made me feel awkward and put on display. I felt paralyzed, and I wouldn't know what to say, and I just know it didn't feel right. Later, I would learn that these were microaggressions. I didn't have the language I do now, but then I would oblige because this will make me accepted, right? Like, we'll be friends after this, right? Or the time that I had braids and one fell out and a classmate found it and compared it to a snake and played a game of keep away with it. These times were hard. And I thought maybe this wasn't the school for me. Why did I feel the need to fit in, and why was it so hard to do so? And when I would reflect on these feelings of being alone, I would think about my first role model, my mother, who was the only black female endocrinologist in her department at the University of Tennessee, surrounded by men. but who always managed to stand tall and keep her head held high and made it look easy every day. And then come home and tell us how another male doctor had spoken down to her, but she quickly snatched him back into place. I was determined to figure out that balance of being able to have friends and coworkers, but also be able to quickly let them know where I stood. Soon after a lot of these things happened, a classmate told me I should audition for a play. And I thought that was not a good idea. Why would I do that? I mean, I had done some plays and long speeches at church, but I had never auditioned. And so I didn't. Time went on, and I guess it was time for the spring play directed by Kate Davis. And again, someone tells me I should audition. And to this day, I don't know what changed, but I thought I'd give it a try. I auditioned, and I booked it. And I fell in love. The stage was electrifying. It was scary and exciting, and even adults enjoyed it. And mostly, it just felt like I was in my element, like it was a place I belonged. Going into 9th grade, the 2 other Black girls moved on to other schools, and I was the only one left in my class for the remainder of high school. But by this time, I had mastered code switching. I found my girl group in Stephanie, Katie, Amanda, and Sarah, and I also found Black sisterhood in some of the other upperclassmen girls, like Tammy Sawyer, Jan Mitchell, Cynthia Brown. But in the classes, it was just me. Sometimes feeling alone because my grades were slipping again, or I didn't get into St. Mary's Singers again, or Chamber Ensemble again, or that I was tipping the scale at almost 200 pounds and could not wear any of the fashionable clothes from the Gap or Limited. Okay, so those were places that we used to shop. And I couldn't fit into those places because they didn't carry my size. You know, I was literally trying to fit in, but I literally could not fit in. I wish I had a Lizzo at the time who reinforces how beautiful you can be no matter what size you are, but I was still plagued with stick-thin models on the cover of 17 and YM. Yes, that was a magazine as well. But then every year, like clockwork, it was time for the play, and the theater gods introduced Jenny Odom Madden to St. Mary's. I thought she was everything. Her passion and energy discussing theater was mesmerizing, and she pushed me to think more critically about my characters and challenged me to get more specific about my choices. And she was a fantastic actress herself, is a fantastic actress herself. She taught me everything I know. But she also believed in me and made me believe that maybe this was a career I could pursue. And before you knew it, I was starring in upper school plays and singing solos. It was so scary, but it was fulfilling to take a group of strangers on a journey. By senior year, I knew I was an actress, and I was ready to go full force. And, well, you heard what happened after in the bio. I have shared my story with you for no other reason than to tell you what I needed to hear when I sat where you are. And that is, you don't have to fit in. You don't need to wear the clothes that everyone else wears. You don't have to make anyone laugh but yourself. And no matter who doesn't accept you, you belong. It took me 20 years to learn that standing out is what makes me unique and what gets me the job. There's a constant pressure that I face as an actress to look a certain way or act a certain way because that's what so-and-so is doing and they just booked that movie. Stop comparing. Everyone's journey looks so different. No 2 journeys are the same, so stop trying to ride on someone else's. So relax. You're right where you're supposed to be. Now, Oprah did finally get back to me after her dinner with Gail. And she told me what she would say to her younger self, and I thought I would share her words of wisdom because Oprah always puts it best. There are no mistakes because you have a supreme destiny. There are no wrong paths. There is no such thing as failure because failure is just that thing trying to move you in another direction. So you get as much from your losses as you do from your victories because the losses are there to wake you up. When you understand that, you don't allow yourself to be completely thrown by a grade or by a circumstance because your life is bigger than any one experience. Thank you.